All right, so you wanted to explore insect farming. Well, buckle up because this deep dive is going to be pretty wild. We're taking a look at this insect farming manifest. It was put out by this Finnish company, Mana Insect. And let me tell you, they're not messing around. They're really advocating for insect farming to be a core part of agriculture, like not just some niche thing.
Yeah, it's really interesting. I mean, I've seen a lot of stuff about insect farming. Obviously, it's a hot topic these days. But Mana Insect, they're taking it to a whole other level. It's almost like they're saying like, hey, this is the future of food, and we need to get on board like right now.
Yeah, and they lay out some pretty amazing benefits like sustainable protein, better waste management, and even healthier soil. So let's dive into it, huh?
Yeah, let's do it.
So first off, Mana Insects is really trying to normalize insect farming. Like they want people to see it as just a natural part of agriculture, just like raising cows or chickens or whatever.
Right, right. And they make the point that insects, they've always been a part of the ecosystem, right? Like they're a natural food source for a lot of animals, and they play a crucial role in breaking down organic matter.
Yeah, exactly. So they're not trying to reinvent the wheel here. They're just trying to kind of tap into this existing system and make it more efficient and sustainable.
Yeah, and one of the biggest things they talk about is insects as feed, like specifically black soldier flies.
Yeah, black soldier flies. Those are kind of their poster child.
Right, right. And for good reason. I mean, these things they're like little protein factories.
Seriously. The manifest talks about how they have this crazy high feed conversion ratio, like way better than traditional livestock.
Oh, yeah. I mean, they can convert like waste products into high quality proteins super efficiently.
And that's a huge deal, right? Because think about all the resources that go into producing traditional feed, like soy, the land, the water, the fertilizer. It's not very sustainable.
Not at all. And not to mention the environmental impact of, deforestation and all that.
So insects, they're like a much more eco-friendly option.
Exactly. And they can also help reduce our reliance on fish meal, which is often used in animal feed, but it's contributing to overfishing.
Yeah, it's a whole mess, really. But black soldier flies, they're like the knights in shining armor coming to save the day.
Well, they're definitely part of the solution, that's for sure.
And get this, they're not just good for feed. Mana Insect is saying they can also be used for waste management. Like they can eat up all sorts of agricultural waste, like food scraps, manure, all that stuff.
It's true. I mean, they have these incredible digestive systems that can break down almost anything.
Yeah, and that's huge because think about all the waste that ends up in landfills. It's a major source of pollution.
Oh, yeah. And it's also a waste of resources, right? Because all that stuff could be turned into something valuable.
Exactly. So insects, they're not just eating up waste; they're turning it into valuable resources.
Exactly. It's like the ultimate example of a circular economy.
Yeah. And speaking of valuable resources, we got to talk about frass.
Ah, frass, the insect gold.
Yeah. So frass is basically insect poop, but don't let that fool you. It's an amazing fertilizer.
Seriously. It's packed with nutrients like nitrogen, phosphorus, potassium, all the good stuff.
Yeah, and it also has all these beneficial microorganisms that help improve soil health.
Right, like it can improve soil structure, aeration, water retention, all sorts of things.
So it's not just about, adding nutrients to the soil, it's about actually making the soil healthier overall.
Exactly. And that's something that synthetic fertilizers just can't do.
Yeah, so, Mana Insect is making a pretty strong case for farmers to switch to insect-based fertilizers.
Definitely. And not to mention the economic benefits for farmers, right? I mean, insect farming can be a really profitable business.
Oh, yeah, for sure. And it's not just about selling the insects themselves. There's also the frass and other byproducts.
Right, right. And the fact that insect farms, they don't require a lot of space or resources. They can be set up pretty much anywhere.
Yeah, they're like the perfect solution for urban farming. Yeah.
Definitely. And they're also really efficient in terms of water and energy use.
So, overall, Mana Insect is painting a pretty compelling picture of the future of agriculture.
Yeah, I mean they're basically saying that insect farming is not just a good idea, it's a necessary one.
Yeah, like if we want to feed the world sustainably, we need to start incorporating insects into the food system.
Exactly. And the sooner the better.
Well, I don't know about you, but I'm pretty convinced. I mean, this insect farming manifest, it's a real eye-opener.
Yeah, it definitely makes you think differently about the possibilities.
Yeah, and it makes you wonder, like, what would it take for insect farming to really become mainstream? Like, to be as common as, raising cows or chickens?
Right. It's definitely a cultural shift, you know. There's still a lot of squeamishness around eating insects.
Yeah, true. But, people thought sushi was weird once upon a time.
Ha, that's true. Taste change.
Yeah, and who knows? Maybe in a few years we'll all be snacking on crickets and mealworms.
Maybe. Or at least feeding them to our chickens and pigs.
Yeah, that's probably a good starting point. So, listeners, what do you think? Are you ready for the insect revolution? Let us know. And in the meantime, keep an open mind and maybe give some insect-based products a try. You might be surprised.
You never know, you might actually like it.
Yeah. So, that's all for this deep dive. Thanks for joining us,
Thanks for having me.
and we'll see you next time.